Okay, here we go. We're going to do some real life moves today, y'all. I'll do some work with bands. You're going to have your weights. We're going to continue with our 8 basic, very important moves. But I'm going to do a lot of stuff in a chair. So get your stuff ready. And we're getting ready for a storm up here, as anybody that's listening to news knows. Get a band. I'm going to say a lot of times we find ourselves in a seated position and we're like, I need to get up and do something. So here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and sit, and you see I have my pad here. See that? So a lot of times, if we're sitting in a couch like this, we're down here and we're down a little further. So the first thing you must do is get a wider stance. That's number one. Use your hands. Push yourself with your shoulders down. Push yourself into a sit to stand. Now, that said, many of you are tuning in and you're like, wait a minute, I've been sitting, watching TV, doing this, watching whatever, doing computer, doing whatever. So I want to stand up. Okay, then you get in your chair like normal. So I'm going to show you, and we've got AJ is traveling to Florida, so I'm going to do some stuff specifically for when you're finding yourself sitting. Do you see what I'm doing? So even if you're in a car seat, you can act like you might want to get up. Well, how do you start doing that? And you see this move right here? Okay, this is a very important move. You push your butt back and you do the hip hinge. When you hinge forward and back and you go back, so you have to scoot yourself forward a little bit. It may be kind of hard. Do what you can do. Everybody's car is different. Everybody's lengths are different. But just do this kind of a thing and then add a little move. Watch this. I got my band. Or even if you don't have your band, just put your hands like this. You go forward. You go back. You start to feel this contract. Then you come here and you turn. And you pull your arm back. Okay? Then you come forward. You do a hip hinge. And then you turn and you bring your elbow as far back as you possibly can. Now, if you do have your band, of course you can use it. So I'm going to go in, out. Now, don't do it here. Are you ready? Come back to neutral. Then you're concentrating on dropping your shoulders, taking a breath through your nose, and you're pushing your elbow back. Pretty hard. And then you're going to come like this, and you're going to turn your hands up. You're going to go forward and back. Then you're going to come to neutral, and you're going to turn, and you're going to act like you're going to try to elbow somebody. And you're putting a gentle pressure right here. If you don't have a band, that's okay. Just put your hands like that and pull back, pull back. You got it? Take a big deep breath through your nose. Sit way up on your haunches, so to speak. So what does that term mean? And some of you, I don't know how many of you regularly watch anything. It seems like so much on the internet, especially if you're into anything real watching. So much you'll see moves that really you need to take a step back and say, okay, if I do that, I know I'm going to get into trouble this way or that way. And some of you won't even know the caution, and I'm going to tell you the caution right now. When you're sitting in a chair, like we are right now, and we're going through our moves, if I do anything, if I do a hip hinge, if I go back, if I turn like we just did, if I turn the other way, or if I bring my knee up especially. Do that. Bring your knee up as far as you can, but you've got to be coming up from the hip, okay? Right here, the hip hinge. As I bring my leg up, I lean back. That's why I put that move in there, the very first thing. Why? Because see, if I don't lean back a little bit, probably 98% of people doing this move will simply round their back, or they will flex their back. This is not when you want to round your back, okay? So you open back. The only way you can open back is to be sitting on the front part of your chair. Now, I'm sitting on a little, our little balance pad, okay? That gives me 2 inches lift, okay? Some of you who are fun sized don't need this on there right now because your legs are you're kicking your legs like a little kid anyway. I won't name names, okay? Open back. I just had to this is real life stuff. You see this? Your feet would be off the ground. But now, see, I can lift my knee without rounding my back. Why am I spending so much time on this? Because this gets people into trouble. Because you round your back in order to lift your leg. And they're doing it, you know, when you see people doing this on the, you know, wherever you see it being done. Oh, there's, you know, it'll make your stomach work. Well, it won't make your stomach work if you're stressing your back because you rounded it, because you're doing this, okay? Okay, I covered that. So, hip hinge, yes. Open hip hinge, yes. Close hip hinge, yes. Bring that leg up, yes. See that? Bring that leg up, yes. Back. Rotate. See how I'm turning? Rotate. So one of the reasons I'm doing this class like I'm going to do it today, so I have found that this thing bothers me whenever I turn. So I'm going to take it out from under me. And boy, does that feel different. Okay. So now I'm going to turn. I'm doing a lot of stuff today because a lot of us find ourselves with some problem with our knee, some problem with our ankle, some problem with our foot. We can't stand for long times. Maybe we have a plantar fasciitis. Maybe we're recovering from a knee replacement, a knee surgery, a back issue. And then we're like, I just can't stand. Well, then sit your little butt down right here and go through a hip hinge, a hip open hinge. Yeah, take a big breath, a turn. And see, I'm pulling my elbow back. So I'm doing these with a really lifted rib cage, breathing through the nose, come to neutral, turn, and pull that elbow back. My hands are up, and I'm going to come down because I'm starting to loosen up through the back, the shoulders, the hip, the knee. See how I went down like that? All without standing. So many times, some of you have found yourself with a tender foot. See how I'm dropping, and I'm stretching through the ankle? Okay, so instead of doing repeated walking all around, and you're saying, oh, I just can't do that, my ankle or my foot, my Achilles tendon is hurting. See, a lot of people get into swimming because they're having issues with walking, their foot. I had, you know, Bonnie was famous for having Achilles tendonitis. She worked herself out of it. We worked on it, but so swimming, a lot of times we don't get a lot of that rotation through the joints. Swimming does it, but this rotation that we're doing right now is specifically for people who you just like, I just can't get up and stand that whole time. Well, we're gonna do some work standing, but I'm really trying to get you to work through some major joints without loading them. That's the point of this move. That's the point of this whole first section. So now, if I find myself sitting down, now I'm gonna go ahead and stand up. I wouldn't recommend that to AJ as she's in her front seat of her car. So what I would do, AJ, is I would come in and I would push hard on my heels and then come back. So you can't go too far because you'll hit the dashboard. So I'm gonna go forward, push into my heels, drop my shoulders, breathe in through my nose, and lift the butt. Then come back down. Amazing if you would just do that. If you find yourself seated or you just can't seem to get yourself up, just come into this and into this and into this and into this. Turn. See how I'm turning my heel right there, and then I'm leaning back. Then I'm gonna turn, leaning back. I'm really stretching through my foot right there. Yeah. Take a big deep breath. Then I'm gonna lean in, act like I'm trying to pick up something from the floor. And I'm gonna push. And I'm gonna roll my shoulders, okay? And I'm pushing with this elbow into my knee. So you can do that. I've done this many times sitting on a long ride. I've just come forward and pushed and looked over my shoulder. See that? So helpful because you get a groin stretch, you get a huge move for your upper back. So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna push into my knee, and I'm gonna look over my shoulder. And I'm gonna stay down with my back extended. You gotta hear me on that. You gotta extend your back. So how do you extend your back? You just say rib cage up. Just say rib cage up. Act like somebody's standing behind you with their fingertips under your rib cage and they're lifting. That's it. It will extend your back almost immediately. And then you come back. So if you've gone through prolonged sitting, lying, whatever, you're recovering from something, you find yourself sitting a lot. I'm gonna do a lot of stuff right here in the chair. And we are gonna go through our strength work, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna put my band here. Bands are always good to take with you on a trip. So now I'm gonna take my arms. I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go like this. And I'm gonna go boom and come back. And you know what I just did right now that some of you might not have done? You saw me do this, but if I were standing with you right now and I put my hand right here, the majority of you would have rounded your back. So how do you not do that? You're here, you're focused on lifting your leg and keeping your hands here. You open the hip, drop your shoulders, take a breath, exhale, right there. Take a breath, exhale, right there. Take a breath, exhale, exhale. So when you do the big move, yeah, you exhale, exertion, ha, right there, exhale. So don't hold your breath when you're doing these types of moves because you will build up pressure through your diaphragm, through your upper body, in your stomach, and it's not what you want because that kind of pressure can cause hernias, actually. So take a breath, exhale, take a breath, exhale. Do you see how I'm rolling from upright to open? And the only thing I'm doing that with is by opening through the hip. So once you get this particular thing in your head, we can go lots of ways with it. So now I did straight arm, straight knee up. See that? Straight, 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 straight. See that? Open, close. Some of you are sinking, you're open, you're rounding your back, rib cage up. And some of you are saying, how did she know that? I know it. Here we go, right there. Because sitting up like this, for a lot of people, very difficult because of the way they're attached through their hips, their inflexibility, postural issues. So now, if you've got that, you're gonna open back. This is contracting, shoulders are down. Take a breath. I'm gonna bring this leg up. I'm gonna rotate, tap, and come in. The emphasis here is not on touching your elbow to your knee. Because if you try to go those few more inches in order to do that, because you think that's the goal, you're gonna round your back. Why do I not want you to round your back? Because that puts undue stress in not a good way. So I'm gonna say rib cage up, take a breath. I'm gonna bring this leg up. I'm gonna rotate, and I'm gonna bring it up just as far as I can, but only as far as you can, okay? So open back, tight tummy, yes. Breath, up and turn, right there. Don't round your back, don't round your back. This turn that we're doing is a big deal in opening up your back and your shoulders and through your chest, okay? So I'm gonna come right here again, pull back, lift, turn, tap, come back down. Open back, take a breath, exhale, turn, and come back, okay? Just two more, here we go. Open back, shoulders are down, take a breath, turn, come up there as far as you can, but you don't have to, you know, hit that. Take a big breath, here we go, and come back. Last one, open, turn, and come back. Here we go, open, turn, and come back. Now hip hinge, come down and place your hands as far down onto the ground as you can, almost like you're gonna grab your feet or your ankles, okay? See, I've got my hands right across my foot there. I'm gonna keep my chin tucked. I'm very wide with my legs. Take a breath. You can put your hand on the front if you want to, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a big breath, tighten in on my tummy, and lift. In through, yeah, just hang out down there. So this is that move, that very important move that I introduced to you the other day with your toes out. About, not even hardly 45, maybe 45 degrees, just a little, just a little. This is a great way to get a move down that you really need to do pretty much every day, especially if you turned the big 7-0. Hi, Mac. Are you talking to me? Oh yeah, I'm putting my hands on my feet. Are you ready? Ask yourself right now, is my back flexed or is it extended? I want to keep it extended, so my rib cage is up. I'm going to press into my heels. I'm going to come into my heels, push, lift. I'm right there. I'm hanging out down here for just a little bit. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Back, you need to go lay down. And then come back down. How's that? I know it. Okay, we're gonna lead the quar and we're gonna stand up. All right, so we're just gonna lead the quar and we're gonna stand up. Take a big deep breath, step over in front of the other leg, step back. So I'm right here in front of my chair. I'm gonna step over in front of the, one foot in front of the other on a little tight wire, a little line, step back. See how I'm stepping back as wide as my chair? Yeah, you're gonna find yourself finding your balance. That's the purpose. Here we go. Shift, bring that leg over right in front of that leg. So I'm combining a whole lot of moves here. Here we go. You ready? Put it right in front of that foot. Come back. So just a series of a tandem stance is what I'm trying to get you to do right now. Okay? And then coming back. Take a big deep breath. Come down, down, and down. Now, with your hands on the seat, I want you to roll your shoulders forward. And you heard me say roll. Yes, roll and round your upper back. So, why am I having you round your upper back now? Because it's your upper back, number one. And number two, I'm not loaded, okay? So I'm gonna go up to my ears, and then I'm gonna open my shoulder blades, and I'm actually pushing back. I'm pushing back against this forward shoulder roll, and it's opening my back very, very nicely. Then I'm gonna come up with the shoulders, then I'm gonna go back, then I'm gonna go down, okay? So if you find yourself sitting a lot on a long trip, is prime example. Sitting and watching a long something, a show of some sort. Just sit there. You will do yourself a world of good if you'll just do this. Open your, bring your shoulders to your ears. Now bring them forward while you concave in your tummy. Okay, so your tummy is coming in and you're rolling your shoulders forward and you're opening your between your shoulders. Then you're gonna push them down, 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 okay? I know, it's a different word. I'll have to spell it for you as soon as I think it up, okay? Go back, yeah. So if you just did an exaggerated shoulder roll, that's all I'm trying to get you to do. Taking big breaths, then come forward, okay? Come forward, see how I'm sinking back? So this is a really good one to do while you're on the road. When you bring your shoulders forward, open between your shoulder blades. Open, 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 open. Yeah, you're gonna feel it stretch. Then you come up, then you go back, then you go down. And then this is where a tea towel or a little band or something like that is a really good thing to do. You see what I'm doing? I'm throwing punches, okay? See, I'm throwing punches. So if I didn't have this, I would just do this. So this is a very simple move, okay? If you wanna throw a punch at somebody, do this instead. You air punch, see this? And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna let my shoulder go through its full rotational range in front. Now we'll do the ones in back in just a second. See this? Okay, just a set of 10 or 20, throwing a punch. Just put that in your head and just say, man, my shoulder's still tight. You know, I don't know. I gotta sit up so I can breathe, you know, that type of thing. And just throw a few punches. See what I'm doing? So don't focus just on what I'm doing with my hands. That's only part of the story. So I'm doing this punch throw, but I'm lifting my shoulder really big. Enough to where I feel it in my shoulder. See, I'm gonna go up, shoulders coming way up, throwing that punch, bringing it around. That is very different than just doing this, okay? So I got lots of people that have had shoulder issues, that have delicate shoulders. Your shoulder has the biggest range of motion in of the joint in your whole body. But many of us have frozen shoulders. So I'm trying to help you with that. While we're seated, who knew? Okay, so now I got my little band. You can get a tea towel, you can get a rod, doesn't matter. You can get nothing, just put your hands out in front of you. See that? See that rotation? See that rotation? Yeah, so how are we sitting? Open back, see, don't lean forward. Okay, open back, drop your shoulders. Big breath through the nose. Ooh, drop the shoulders, yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna put those hands out and I'm gonna go just like that, steering wheel, okay? So here's where You should not do this while holding your steering wheel on the highway. I'm just putting that out there, AJ, in case Dave is listening. Dick is listening. Okay, here we go, right here and right here. See? See that? Take a breath. Not. Some of you are leaning forward. You've rounded your back. I know you did. Don't do that. Give your vertebrae a chance to get extended. Open. So this is one of the reasons I knew I was going to do this kind of a move, that I did all of that work in the first of the class. Open right here, rib cage up. Yes. Hands are out in front of us. Top, bottom. See that? Yeah. Now go a little further. Go a little further. Take a big breath. Don't lean in. Don't lean in. You're opened at the hip. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Come back. Okay, top and bottom. Drop your shoulders. Open your hips. You ready? Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, all the way under, and come back. Take a breath. Top, bottom. All the way, 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 and come back. Did you open at your back? I mean, did you flex your back? You have to keep telling yourself not to do that, okay? All right, open back. Bring the leg up. Now's when you need an assist. Are you ready? You're gonna open back, you're gonna bring the leg up. Got it? Take your hands. You could hold a tea towel or just put your hands. Now correct your knee position, because some of you are letting it go out like this. So I want it to go straight up to the shoulder. Say rib cage up. Now you're gonna extend. Okay, I'm getting you ready for what we're going to do with our weights here in just a second. See that? So it's a nice extension. Okay, now unlock it. Okie dokie. Now, release. Take a breath. Unlock the knee. Don't really bend it, but don't lock it. Hang on as long as you can. Hang on, it's right here, it's right here, it's right here, it's right here. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. And bring it in and down. I wanted to wake that up. You can do it if you find yourself having to sit, or you find yourself where you can't do squats or something like that. Because squatting is a great way to get these woke up. Let's do the other one. Are you ready? Open back. Bring your leg up as far as you feel you can. Correct your knee. Some of you brought it up and you did that. Okay? I just know it. Open back, rib cage up, drop your shoulders, bring that knee up, put your hands under here, assist. Now bring it out as far as you can. Don't lock it. You got it out there? Say rib cage up one more time and release. Okay, hang on to it, hang on to it, hang on to it. Take a breath. Hang on to it, hang on to it. Bring it down. So I can tell you, on my knee replace side, whoa. Quite a difference. I can't hang on to it for very long. So my challenge is constantly around those joints that are replaced, because the muscles just don't work the way they used to. Okay, that's just how it is. So let's do that one more time, because we're fixing. That means we're getting ready to put our leg weights on. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna lift my leg, correct my knee, lift in, rib cage up, bring it up, don't lock the knee, correct your knee again, and release. And I'm holding it, holding it, holding it, holding it, holding it, holding it, holding it as long as I can. And then I'll come back down. Okay? Ready? One more, right here. So we did 2 on each leg. We're getting ready to put our pad under us to do some of our required work that I want to make sure we get in. Okay, you ready? Shoulders are down. Yes. Chin tucked. Yes. Rib cage up. Yes. Knee is lifted. Yes. Bring it up as far as you can. You can use your hands if you need to. Okay, I'm going to use my hands a little bit on this one because I want to keep it up there. Take a big deep breath. Don't lock it. Hold it there. Just one little finger. Say rib cage up. Say rib cage up. Say rib cage up. Breath. It's right here. It's right here. And bring it back in and down. I know it. Okay. Whew. Take a big deep breath. Make a big hug. Drop your shoulders and turn. See? Just turn a little bit. Turn, 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 turn. So if you find yourself seated, and it might not even be a nice, good kitchen chair, stable kitchen chair. It might be your couch, and you're all tucked down in there, and you're like, I just don't want to get up. Let me encourage you to just, during your commercials or whatever, just sit on the edge of the couch and just rib cage up, bring your hands and bring them back. Just do that, okay? So the hands, you're sitting up, wherever you're at, you're just sitting up and you're making your rib cage lift. Just that extension. Big breath through your nose. I don't even have the time to go into all the physiology that you just affected by just doing that. And not just sitting, lying for hours and hours during the day where you're not supposed to be sleeping, okay? So one more time, we're reaching them out, turn, pull back. See that? Say rib cage up, yes. Go into the heels, go into the toes. Heels, toes. You see how I'm holding this back? Yeah, I'm pinching my shoulder blades. Opening right here. So I'm going to come off of this and I'm going to do the exaggerated shoulder roll. One more time. I'm going to go up and back and then down and around. I've got dog problems. Shh, Ruby. This is live classes with dogs. Oh my goodness. Well, they're getting their exercise. What if you were running around barking at everybody? See, you get deep breathing. You would be able to move around a little bit. Okay. Now, we're going to, I'm going to put on my leg weights. And some of you are going to find yourself in a situation where you really can't get up. Maybe you just can't put pressure on your legs. Okay, that's a real thing for a lot of people. Take a big deep breath. I'm going to put my weights right there. I have my leg weights. Get your leg weights ready. I'm going to get my dog situated. Here's the troublemaker. Her heart is beating, so she's trying to protect me. I'm going to put her in her cage so she won't bark. There. Mac never says anything, hardly. Okay. Woo! Here we go. Okay, so the first part of this whole class was aimed at people who find themselves, maybe they just cannot muscle up the energy to get up and do a full class. Maybe they've had an injury or an operation and they can't really stand on their feet very long. The whole first part of the class was designed to just free up your spine and to move through your shoulders, to move through your hips, and just help you to move toward wanting to do a little more, okay? All right, are you ready? So, I got my weights and I got my leg weights, okay? Now I'm still staying at the same weight. I'm ready next week to go up in my weights on my legs, okay? I don't know if you are. So I'm gonna start with our upper body and I'm gonna be seated at first. I'm gonna do one set seated, one set standing. So you get to choose. So what do I have here? I have 12 and 12, okay? So what you're working toward, any of you who are still having your birthdays, that's a good thing. You may not think so, but that's what I'm aimed at trying to get you to do, is have a good time having those birthdays. You see this? See this? See, I lean in, I come right here, and I pull as I open. So I'm sitting on the little balance pad, keeping my chin tucked. Take a big breath. See, I'm leaning in right here with 12-pound weights that's pulling from across my shoulders, across my upper back, okay? All the way in and open. It's doing a whole heck of a lot more than you think, okay? Take a big breath. Yeah, here we go. You want to put constant, even pulling. Sometimes it will be uneven. But this first set, I'm in the chair, so I don't have as much to think about. Which actually, when you're in the chair and you don't think you have as much to think about on a lift, that's one of the reasons why we let our back round, okay? So you do want to stay rib cage up. You do want to hip hinge as you're coming forward and back. Take a big deep breath. Keep my chin tucked. Big breath. Ah. Take a big breath. Then I'm going to stay right here. Okay? Stay rib cage up. I'm going to go pull, 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 breath, pull, breath, breath, pull, 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 pull. Put those weights to the side. Okay, I'm up here. Shake out my hands. Stay there. I'm gonna just turn my fan on. I'm getting hot. Okay, so here we are. Now my butt goes forward so I can open. So I can really work here. Drop my shoulders. Okay, don't worry about bringing your leg up. Some of you are doing that. This is a knee extension. It is not a hip lift, okay? So, tight, tight, tight. Yeah? Rib cage up. Yeah? Heel. Yes. I'm going to go right there. See that? Right there. So I'm going to go 1 and 2 and. Take a big breath. Say rib cage up. I'll tell you what, if you're wondering about your back, take one hand, I don't care what, put it right here in the small of your back, right here. Say rib cage up. When you lift, you do that knee extension and you're leaned back, you're gonna feel whether or not you have a flexion. So here I am. So the first one is just 1 and 2 in. I'm not holding it. Just get it up to 1001. Yeah, like that. Breath. Big breath into the nose. Big breath. So even this, which is aimed at trying to get the muscles around and on top of your knee stronger. You could do this seated without weights. A lot of times I will cross my ankles if I'm sitting on a bench or anything like that anywhere, and just give these something to do. Okay, so that's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And now I'm going to go back. I'm going to come up. Okay, so do me a favor. Some of you are still, I'm telling you, make sure you're up high enough. The reason that you will lift your hip and then go out is because you need to get a higher, you need to like sit on a higher surface. That's why I put this here, okay? 2 inches lift. open back, okay? Then you come out, and then you just do little flicks. So we've already woke the muscle up, and now we're pushing it. See that? Yeah, I didn't lift through my hip. I just took off from my heel plant. See that? It's right there, right there, right there. This should start to feel pretty hot. Right there. Yes, couple more. Stay with me, stay with me. Okay, lean in. This should have been talking French to you right here, okay? Now come in, turn to the side, turn to the side. So why do I do that? Because you're gonna start feeling tension in your back. It's a good tension, but you don't want to overdo and push a muscle, especially in your back, because it's holding you in this position. I'm assuming that all of you are in a good extension. I'm assuming. Okay, so I'm gonna open back till this starts to contract. Yeah, ribcage up. Yeah, this is the one that we're taking up now. So don't lift. See, that's what everybody wants to do. So I'm gonna open you back. Then I'm gonna take right off from the heel. See, it doesn't have to be way up. Okay, it just has to come up here where this is really firing. Okie dokie. Take breaks if you need to. Reposition. Open back there. Okay, right there, and then go boom. See that? Yeah, right there. Repeated pulse. It's not a bounce. And yeah, I feel my knee. This is my knee replacement side. And it feels different, but I feel these finally starting to fire. Right here. Yes. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Couple more, just a couple more. Stay with me, stay with me. Ribcage up, and come back in. I know it. See, I can hear you whining out here. Okay. Take a breath. Yes. Now I'm gonna get my weights because I'm putting a little extra in. Let me check my little time frame. So I'm gonna grab my weights before I get up. So I hope you know that. Just checking. Yeah, we're good. Okay, I'm gonna grab my weights. I'm gonna get my foot position. Grab my weights. This is where your back extensing instead of flexing really has to be right on. Okay, so now I've added not only to my frame the leg weights, I've added these weights. And what do I have? I have a 12 and a 12. That's where I'm working today. So it should be, you know, it's like a medium weight on our little chart. Yeah, I'm right up there with 12 to 15 pounds is what we should be able to handle. Okay, so I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna extend my back by saying ribcage up and shining my tail lights. Then I'm gonna push into my heels. Watch your knees. They need to stay in a good position. Here we go. Breath, exhale, and exhale. See that? So that is an appropriate way to stand up with a weight load. So I'm going to do it one more time since it went so well. And here's the deal. I want you guys to, instead of thinking, oh, I have to stand up, I want it to be easy for you to handle standing up. That's why I'm going to do it a couple times. Okay, take a breath. Here we go. Shine your tail lights, go into your heels, down. Bring them down. Here we go. Extend, breath, heels, breath. Woo! Right there. Squeeze your butt right now. Okay, push. Here we go. Here we go. And here we go. So that move right there, that concert of moves to get up and to get back down, weighted or not weighted, should be very easy for you, but you know what? I'll bet most of you held your breath. So take a breath, start the move, exhale, take a breath, start the move, and exhale. Do not hold your breath. Some of you are letting your knees come in. Keep them right where they're at, right over the ankles. Here we go. Exhale. Oh. Take a breath. Exhale. Because some of you hold your breath. You either hold it coming up or you hold it going down. So train against that. Take a breath. Exhale. And up. Yes. Now I'm going to turn and I'm going to go like this. See this? This is instead of an over the head move that program that I'm using as a pattern right now does. See this? Some of us have shoulder issues, but we still are wanting to train to become functional and stronger. You don't do that if you injure yourself in the process. Okay? So I'm showing you a very good instead of move. Some people call it a modification. Okay? Take a big deep breath. See this? And back down. Here we go. And back down. So now I'm starting to load and utilize all that range of motion that I did at the first part of the class. Sitting down. Got pretty heavy weights. See, when I'm in this position, my chin is tucked. My back is not rounded. I'm hip hinged. Now I'm going to push into the heels. I'm going to bring my shoulder up, down, and back. Then I'm going to come back down. Take a breath. Ooh, exhale and come back. So you should have a pretty decent weight right now. Okay? That we just used in our bicep curling. Now we're using it as a loaded shoulder rotation, shoulder roll right through the back. Here we go. Back down, sit on that high bench. See that? See my back, my rear end does not curl under. I am shining my tail lights. I'm just not going down quite as far. Then I come back and roll that shoulder with load. And then come back down. Take a big breath. Make sure you're into your heels. Exhale. Take a breath. Drop your shoulders. Boom. Woo. Here we go. And here we go. Now stay with me. Stay with me. Okay. I'm going to be here. Bring the hands back. I've already practiced it, right? And then I'm just going to really open at the elbows. Bring it in. Push. Breathe in. Exhale right there. Open and close through the shoulders. Open and close at the elbow. So you roll in, release. Do it again. Inhale, exhale. Don't hold your breath. Okay, we're going to do a little flick. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Right there. Just go push, 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 push. Breath, 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 breath. Woo! Then I'm going to bring these and I'm going to put them down right there and come up and open. So you got those leg weights on. Yeah? Open the hands. Open right there. Yeah? So, you guys very well know the carry. Well, when you're getting down to pick up a carry, a lot of times it's, up here. Well, today it's down there. So how in the heck am I going to get that from down there without rounding my back? Carefully thinking. Ribcage up. Push into the heels. You're doing a fold. So as you go down, you're pushing your butt back. You're gonna go all the way down. You're gonna grab those weights. Do not round your back. Do not round your back on that, okay? We're gonna do it 3 times. So I'm gonna turn to the side so you'll see what I'm doing. Before I do anything, when I know I'm gonna go down to the floor, number 1, I'm gonna soften my knees. Number 2, I'm gonna rotate through the hip. I'm gonna push the butt back. Keep my chin tucked. My back is very extended. I'm gonna go all the way down. And I don't wanna drop these things. They're 12 pounds each. It would break a floor. I'm gonna hang out down here, and then I'm gonna come back up. See that? Then we go down and get them again. Listen, if you did a couple of sets of pickups and put downs with a weight and squatting from sit to stand, you'd be so far ahead of a lot of your friends, okay? Here we go. But you would be feeling better and functional, and that's really what we want, right? Grab and come up. No rounded back. The reason you round your back is because you don't get your butt down. Okay, get your butt down. Go into the heels. Take a breath. Come back up. Breath. Get ready. Take a breath. Heels. And come back up. So you want to drop your butt. So this time we're going to stay down there for a bit, and we're going to drop the butt. 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 Hang out there. Heels. 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 And then come back up. Yeah. Come here. Come here. Take a big deep breath. Right there. And if you can do nothing else but a few of those kind of squats and a few step throughs with weights coming down your neutral spine. See how I'm stepping back and forth? Stepping, stepping, taking a few steps forward, taking a few steps back, letting that weight be on my shoulders. The whole frame takes this load. And you see I have leg weight, so I'm not doing a lot of stepping. I'm doing very careful step throughs. Then I'm going to take those off. I'm going to put them in. So there's all kinds of ways to get carries done. You just did one. Okay, now I'm going to turn this chair around. And I'm doing it so you'll see what I'm doing. If you have a chair, just step around or turn it around or put your hands on a wall. So if you have a wall, this is when you use it. I'm going to put my toe back. Drop my shoulders, press down, say rib cage up, and then lift and squeeze. And go lift and squeeze. Take a breath. Keep this knee soft. Boom. Just like that. Breath, breath, breath. Rib cage up. Big breath in the nose. Lift it. Hold it right here. Now squeeze. Now go 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath. Breath. Drop your shoulders. Keep do the pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. Come back in. Yay. Take that leg, other leg back. This knee is soft. Drop your shoulders. Rib cage up. Okay, squeeze your butt from the cheek that's gonna work. Right there. Breath. Keep your toe down. It's coming from the hip, not the knee. Straight. Lift up. Tighten. You're doing a lot of back contracting here to hang on to the stability of this move. Take a breath. 2 more. Okay, pulse it. 1, 2. Take a breath. 5. Yeah, hang on, breathe. And bring it back in. Now just go to the side. Drop your hands down, drop your shoulders down. You shift, you lift to the side, you hold on there. Put that foot down, shift, lift with the ankle leading. Breath, ankle leads. Put the foot down, shift to the other side, and it's a lift now. Lift, keep your toe tucked to the inside. Yeah. And rotate. Turn your toes so you're leading with your ankle or your heel. Take a breath and back. Turn, breath and back. Turn, breath and back. Woo. Put your hands right there on your chair. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to release my weights on my legs. And I'm going to go right here with my hands on the back of the chair. I'm going to push my butt back. Let my shoulders come up to my ears. Really push, pull. Hang out down there for just a little bit. Then do a full pendulum. See? You don't really lift. You just rotate. That's the difference in doing a lift or a pendulum. You're not lifting. You're just letting that shoulder rotate. You can go the other way. You come up over your back. Carefully up over your back with the elbow bent. All right. I think we're at the end of our class. Okay. If you're shaking just a little bit, then you know you picked up the right amount of weight. I hope you didn't hit Dick, AJ.